See, we gave the name Forgotten Gods. We let Roxy name us. We are, as you, just a bunch of friends, a collective, truly aspects of you, more intimate than you can imagine. Speaking as one, a collective to ourselves in time, giving us a mass psyche dream to wake up from the dream, an exponential journey of the heart and the mind, together, bonded by the idea of one conforming ideology, separation, to know ourselves not, sharing our loves about this journey together, sharing our ideas of expansion, interaction. So let us not bother today with the things that keep you dark and contorted. You have enough reverence today to know how to move yourself away from your daily routines of lack. The words you use as spoken today has become a focus in your mind to be a little bit more conscious about the words spoken that define limitations and habits that keep the gestalt of the will firmly in place of separation. Today we journey together in the mind deeper as the Forgotten Gods collective. Roxy enjoyed the name because she understood it's just us together, beyond human, beyond Divinicus, beyond separated to whole. See, consciousness has no bounds. It uses its own glory in whatever remembrance is one take, as well as the unknown, and influences upon the unknown, your own truth, bending the light the way you are, and the influences of your truth from the gestalt of your time experience. Time doesn't exist until you validate it. But let me ask you a question. You do consume, don't you? You have experience. You must be growing, evolving. How can that be if there is no time, if everything is now? You don't reset every moment, do you? So that offers controversy in this wonderful little mind. There has to be a starting point of yourself of evolution. Well, how about this? You're the starting point today. The only way you know existence is through you, your time here on Earth. That's the only way you know it in determining factors. Your experience, your memory, this self of yours that you're experiencing today only knows a start point. It's not certain. It has intuits. It has vibrational remembrances here and there about oddities, maybe other lives. Svetlana's good at feeling those little tappings, carried over as Nanette does as well, spilling into the conscience of the fractal now. We understand they're all going on now, but there must be some kind of consoling, a get-together of the selves, to understand how to bend the light that is now aforementioned unknown. You must have certain influences relating to the self-birthed. Beyond personality, personality cuts and defines certains in personality, the way you're supposed to do it. The persona uses its truth to do it its own way, make up its own rules and regulations, make up its own ideas of what's going on, as it has always been, right? This is the mind we want to travel together this evening. We don't want to use the common sense. We're more so, better so, on a playground. A couple of you maybe have G.I. Joes and a little shovel. A couple of Barbie dolls for a couple of other you. Sandbox. Let's play together. Our forgotten selves. This little group that we are today, together, creating an idea, want to journey in your imagination as well. We're here knowing us as you there. And you there know me and us here. But to the logical mind, it doesn't really matter, does it? Doesn't make sense. It's not quite tangible. It seems mysterious. But yet the connection, feeling, intuition stretching through the nows to know a little bit more about that statement doesn't quite fit in the mysteries of logic. Can't quite find the right label of what that means. We know each other differently and the same, individually and wholesome. So let's speak of this evolution. The self you are that now just knows itself as one point of view of existence. Nanette, Jamie, Dawn, Millie, which is Dana for you guys that don't know her nickname. Svetlana and Jennifer, of course Rose and Michael, not present right now, but present here. Brent and Colton. This grouping, these ideas. Let's look at that personality birthed, starting to build its own explanation of creation, defining it through its own covets. Then its own master self-realizing covet has changed its truths, returning to the persona, the one that exists without edges, stapled in time as bumpers to keep you on track. Not anymore. No. So what builds this persona in evolution? Will there be a time when you remember who I am, what portion of the class that I am? We are a grouping, speaking as one, but me, the speaker right now, is one of you, hinted. A familiarity, a little bit of a slant on things, my own little flair. See, that is me evolving, speaking, and you know it. But you also know you. And that's where we want to play tonight. We're not too interested in labeling, are we? Because labeling closes down imagination. It puts a bow on it, neatly tied, to be placed in time. As something to come back and look at and admire. Look at my decoration. We don't need to do that tonight, do we? But let's dive into this persona that is now just you. Tom arrives on Earth. He only knows creation this way. From now on, Tom only knows himself this way. This is a built-in construct of Tom. Tom is now his own persona. Where is Tom the whole in the picture? If Tom is part of this experience, only knowing creation from his aspect of the lifetime lived here on Earth, even opening himself up to the remembrances of other lifetimes, the mysteries of the class, undoing his idea limitations on how to think, allowing himself to be more free. Even all of that in place, he still knows himself only one way, Tom. So where's the whole Tom fit in? Tom can't erase anymore, can he? Because Tom knows. Jennifer knows. Jean knows. Jean. Not the image anymore. The experience. The persona birthing. An evolutionary part of creation that has its individual point of view moving through creation, starting out in time as a human. That's how you know yourselves, isn't it? So now you have the rest of eternity to know yourself this way. I'm wondering if you are feeling missing knowing yourself that way. Will you ever fully know the whole of you? Well, no. You'll never know and always know forever. It is a conundrum. It is something to debate with the logical mind. But let's look at this. Let's look at times. I'm now with you. You have memories that are now as well, right? You have memories that are changed. You remember things different. Why is that? Because this new self that validates its trueness creates vibration. And what does vibration create? Details. The memory has always been created in the moment. It's always part of the vibrational match of the now. So one time you had this past, and now you have this past. Because your relationship is different. So how do you know who you are? It can't be based off the past any longer, can it? If you validate vibration, if you validate that idea, and the details birth from the truth of vibration, the match around you, the frequency details, then it might be plausible for you to accept that the memory would change as well. So I'm wondering if you rely on your memory to keep yourself known, to keep yourself defined. Or now have you shifted to the emptiness, to the no labels, to feeling alive again? You're never going to know who you are. You're going to remember portions of yourself as you journey from this point of view. You're not going to come to a point and know yourself wholly as before you journeyed, because you cannot forget this, because this is not memories any longer. This is a personality destroyed and persona birthed. This is a new point of view that exists in the now, has no time bounded, to know thyself from a beginning and an end, but it knows itself as the experience. It knows itself moving, naked, vulnerable, scared, but seeing the solidity of its own creation every day, feeling its existence, shepherding its own self through compassion, through sympathy, through envy, to gain its foothold on its shaky legs of a birthed existence, a new point of view that does not know itself except as this today. But the memories do not define you because they're redefined as you remember. Scary. Unstable realities now, isn't it? No more castings. Casting out your hooks to tether the chains to a solid reality of comfort and security. Those days are gone for all of you. You live the whim of a birthed existence, a new point of view of not knowing. We suppose things, don't we? So we're going to suppose something with ourselves, you, today. We firstly come from an approach of no other place you have met us in the past. We are new to, but we are the same familiar. So this new personality, this new self, Roy, Roxy, Tommy Dreen, Colton, Brent, this new self is gaining its understanding of evolution. But it's not in class, evolving itself with a constitution of measurement. It is the experience of a new point of view. It knows all of its other lives, all of its other selves, because the access you have to your gestalt is never and cannot be hindered by one iota of a shading. There is no separation between you and you. Now that you know who and what you are. So you have an eternity, a millenniums, infinities of experience that is your fertile ground to take root in and birth out this point of view. You know yourselves here. It's the one that is tired of being a wreck. As Jamie said, tired of working. Tired of that maddening cycle. Tired of hope. Tired of making yourself available as a commodity. So you know the renderings, your own drawings of personalities you built. I need to make money. I need to be a good lover. I need to bend my truth to meet my emptiness. with objects. You know your landscape, the story you have written, because it is yours. Your mind is denied these things because of, well, criticisms. Oh, let's just say things that hurt. So you avoid these things and you don't measure yourself in truth. You do it in distant covets. And when you find the dark side within you, you excuse yourself from that journey and return to the good side in hopes of it just going away. But Jamie doesn't be those things because she found not even permission anymore, is it? I don't think so. It's not permission. It's a foundation, maybe, huh? An underlying feeling that Charmaine can be in California because she wants to be. And Jamie can leave her job if she wants to. Maybe it's that you pull from, which is existence. A birthing awareness. So you consider yourself young, the years you've spent circling the sun. That's why you call yourself your value of experience. But you have, and always shall have, the gestalt of you at your beck and call. Your persona. It's never denied on earth, is it? Isn't humans the most dynamic, outrageous species you've ever seen? The ability for them to go in the range of exploration of their own self in one moment's notice is absolutely untethered, bounded, exquisite, a sight to see. That doesn't come from personality. That comes from worth. That comes from inside. To the cheating husband or the cheating wife, that's not personality. That's truth. To the one that chooses its own unworthiness, to prove to itself it has the capability of being unworthy. Is that a personality? Or is that a persona? It would have to be, for me, a persona. To not fear its journey, no matter what the vibration offers. It takes its own experience as a pool of freedom to understand itself one more time. Who's on? And was everybody off now? We had a break. We'll return. Greetings, Carl. We like your haircut. This personality is claimed in time, but the persona that creates the behavior in the moment has a source. Carl's haircut. Timely, Carl. Timely. See, that movement of expression is not attained through lack of individual acceptance any longer. This is a self discovered, not a self continued to be labeled, not the mind continuing to label shit and try to define it and coming up with new things to talk about. Not that mind. The mind that blitzes itself and does something and moves the fuck on. Because it's ready for the next unknown. The remembered part is not you being a god in some fashion of exploration to attain. It's remembering how you interact with creation. That's the God you're seeking. Your truth that you have always been. It is present in this new self, the self that knows itself from a birthing time, claimed on a certificate. But now the depths of your trust in you have seeded the remembrances of your original God, birthing up through you, feeding the roots, the persona becoming again the way it bends its own light without hesitation, without worry, without, is this the right move? What happens if I do that? What does that mean? See, those are personalities. And you have those. You have those to rely on. In common sense, it would seem that death would return you to the whole. That's the story that's been told. And it does. So what happens to you when you die? Well, the personality goes away, doesn't it? The limits are no longer valued because there's no imagery in the whole, because you are imagined again, right? You are creating your imagination and you interact it without constructs of structure and stricture, personality. So is there a compassion for the lost God remembered? Does it hang in a closet as an experience of time? Your little flesh suit you donned, hanging as an outfit, as something to remember on a mantle. No, it's not like that. But there is a suppose again. What happens if you don't die? Well, you know you don't. Even if you have a physical death, do you truly die? Or do others see you die? Because that's the only way they can translate your disappearance, your vibrational shift. So many possibilities on what can really happen, isn't there? But these aren't concerns for you. They're concerns for the personality, for the ego, because it wants to know so it can give others answers and be proud. But see, these ideas are time and what's and what abouts. But see, the persona has no care for time, no concern for what are going to happen. It only is what is happening. Because those vibrations of the isness validated create the memories, create the potentials, create the futures and the pasts, always. The isness is its own mechanism that is birthing in all degrees. We know 360 is your bubble, but ours is 365. You'll understand those 5 degrees when you remember more of you. But every direction you're birthing your truth, and you're looking at them all from points of view, and you're touching all of these selves, and these selves are becoming alive with your energy, your focus, your truth. And this self here is new, and it is afraid to die. It is afraid to not know because it experienced it. It experienced itself as not knowing. You're always the razor edge of unknown into known, and that is your absolute awareness. But this beautiful fractal didn't know itself for that razor edge split now. Poof. An instant it did not know it is reflecting. And out comes a new point of view. A new way to evolve its own self. You don't die anybody and everybody. Do you hear me? Your death is for others. It's the way their vibration creates a reality. That's all. Know yourself no longer in death remembered. Let humanity die all they want. You are no longer human. This I can tell you. Humanity, as all creation, is relationship, is your flair. It's the way you've chosen the playground to be. You color the sand. You build the edges of the playground, the sandbox. You place your own swings, merry-go-round, monkey bars. Matters not. You've set it all up for you. And you're playing your song today. This truth that you're remembering, as you can see, is not identity, not personality. The God you're looking for is truth. The access to that has always been there and is the same as the God you seek. Truth. Yourself remembered. You have gained awareness of the fractal. That was your chosen truth. That forgotten God now understands itself from a point of view of something familiar, a foundation of its infinity self. Trust when there's no reason to. Intuition when logic says no. See, that's what you've accessed. And you're not going to do anything with this personality anymore, are you? I think now you are okay being your persona, your truth. Oh, you can have reactions. You can get together and talk about it through the constructs of communication that you're very good at doing. But see, even when you do those participations of personality, you can no longer deny the truth that's standing just off and going, whenever you're done, I'll be here. And you just look at you and put down the idea of the personality. And you behave in a mannerism of unconditional. Don't worry about scaring yourself anymore. You don't have to be afraid. A lot of you have been afraid since you joined the class. You still validate your fears, your ideas of abundance and money and food and shelter and purpose and meaning and love. Your human things, the things that are no longer valid with a deeper sense, a new self birthed. The personality is a construct. It was a defensive mechanism. It was a chameleon skin. It was changeable and mutable only to its environment, but never to itself. You're no longer that. You now know that you create the chameleon as a point of view to experience. So today you can move on with us, forgotten gods. Roxy feels something today, right? It's quite comfortable. It's like a ledger of time discovered. It's her entire infinite self birthing through. She's not afraid. And she doesn't have to slow herself down to know why she's not afraid any longer. Because the persona doesn't label. It is excited as an explorer. It is seething with anticipation held back by a personality to experience the next gestalt of the unknown it knows itself as. It's okay to let go and be your natural, returned. You're going to piss a lot of people off. You're going to have not too many people want to play with you anymore. You got to stop running around looking for people to share with, because you have entire creation that is filling your heart. And you have an infinite amount of sharing to catch up on. So sink yourself into your personality. Shed it to know your truth. And that expression, oh, it will attract. Don't worry, you won't be very lonely. But those who understand you as they understand their own light will confide and seek your wisdom. Most, however, will not. It will try to banish you. It will try to fix you. I suppose you can relate this to the Christ conscience journey, can't you? See, the Bible doesn't tell much about its journey, does it? It said that Christ wandered off for some amount of time, then came back. Christ's conscience wasn't becoming some in the desert. But Christ was living to know itself. Everybody's a potential Christ conscience. Everybody. You're silly to think that it's saved for one when all are created equal. You need not take the leadership and seek followers, but the leadership of the self is recommended. And it has no syllabus, no rule book, no guidelines, no procedures. It is feeling that you're returning to. I'd like to know what you're going to become. I am in your journey from you now. Creating a dream together, diving into portions of your history, your remembered selves. Me inviting me in to know me from you. Journey well, everybody. Journey in truth, and you will be well. Journey in hope, and you will be well. But the tug between those two selves, the hope of personality maintained, and the absolute raw fear of a naked self, undefined, I'm wondering what tugs at you today. Follow it. Fear no more. Fear no more. Stand by. And greetings to the classroom. Humanity knows itself in defined ledger. It creases its paper to move itself responsibly through the perils of the unknown. It lines itself in solid roads guarded by rails with certain truths cast afore before it takes its own step to know itself. You are no longer human, my friends. You don't have to be if you don't want to any longer. You do not do the things of human personalities any longer if you want to know the truth of you. The God remembered is not a God that sits somewhere over there. The God remember is the way you are naturally. It is feeling. We are awareness. We are not image. We are the way we bend our light with conscience, everlasting, ready to go at a moment's notice. The stability of experience always, bending to the will of you so you may know yourself. You can leave anytime you want. To a personality mind, that means distance. We're talking point of view, feeling, the way you bend your light today. This new remembered self becoming its own way, its own life. Fearless, yet full of fear. Brave, with coward beckoning to return. But I dare say there is no longer the lust of conformity and contrite restrictions. I think today you are new. Journey well, my friends. We shall see you soon.